As I've mentioned, former police officer Nomia Ndlovu is back in the High Court in Johannesburg, sitting in the Palm Reach Magistrate's Court today. The state is further interrogating her. Ndlovu has been quizzed on how she had registered Madala Homu as a spouse, although he was actually her cousin. She's also accused of killing 5 of her family members and her boyfriend in order to fraudulently benefit from insurance claims amounting to over 1.4 million rand. Let's listen to the proceedings.
I remember when my Lord, I think I took 3. There was 3 policies.
3 policies. And I think also
that is if my memory serves me well, my Lord. That is if I remember correctly. I think there are about 3 policies for Zanele Mosque.
So, may I ask you, ma'am, your salary, how was your salary? How much was your salary at that time?
Molo wawena mandu ngaku kusashana molo wawena awutani free ngad wadwa awona manu
restrictive under the shifting karwana ku va ku ri na night shifting karwana ku ri na ti holiday karwana ku ri na ti weekend, so I'm nge exactly ku va ku ri mali muni a wu nga fani.
My salary fluctuated back then. And the reason for that, my Lord, is because at times I would do night shift. I would have to work night shift and work during holidays as well as weekends. So my salary was not consistently the same. It fluctuated.
But your basic salary, man, what was your basic salary? The amount reflected in your bank account?
The Apuri Moholo and the Kadi I find that any legal in Masukulawa out there at the holiday, nothing like shift, nothing weekend. The Apur Mola when out in the Mola when I'm Karwadwa, Apur Malmo, Madide, I want a Karanaka bank account.
Ana ashtiva ku ku ri vo 14 kumbe 16 mara ndzaka sweswo a ni ra ku va na deductions leti koka ku bank, so leswi endla ku a ni nga hetivi ku a yi ri mali muni.
I don't know. I can't remember. I don't remember as to how much my salary was back then. Somewhere between 14 and 16,000. But then one has to mind, my Lord, that there were deductions that came through from my bank account. So that's why I'm saying that I cannot recall the exact amount that I earned back then.
Did you want to ask you this? You started out as a constable, is that correct?
Kumeshane oyinokubutisa indlela le manje anelo kusungula edirweni akukhosi kusungule uri constable ane correct my lord.
And then you were promoted to a sergeant which year?
Se akurilemberi loko utlakusiwa antirweni loko kuma promotion loko promotiwa uba sergeant akurilemberi
Kumba ku ri 2014 kumbe 2013 kwalana ntsundzuki.
My lord, I think it was somewhere in 2013 or 2014. I can't remember the exact time when I got promoted to being a sergeant.
Okay, let's move on. So Zanele Ndlovu was discharged in your care, and you admit that she was under your care and at your house on the 14th of June 2016. Am I correct?
Say, hi, Makwen Deman. Zanele Mota, oh, message that day, say, we are in Mabukunya. Marjangana, are unsubsidized. Zawena, Siberanga, my best, Eke Zanele Pambana, and I am giving away. Now, I will try support. The Sublera 14th of June.
Sure.
Yes, that's correct.
And she complained during the day of the 15th of June 2016. She complained to you that she wasn't feeling well. Am I correct?
It's on an there is a Shamdu Shako, up to 15th of June 2016. We are in a Gawena. So, yes, that's correct, my lord. She did mention, she did say to me that she's in pain.
Now, when she complained of pain, Zanele Mota, why did you not return her to the hospital who treated her and discharged her and informed you she was fine? Why did you not return and say, this individual is not fine?
Zanele Mota loko ataba ririle ka wena hikuva a nga titwi kahle kuva a ku byerile leswaku u twa ku vava. Hikola ka yini Mandlovu u nga n'wi tlherisela mina a xibedhlele lexiya va nga n'wi chucha va tlhela va ku byela leswaku u lulamile u kahle kumbe loko se u n'wi tekile u famba na yena a kaya u fika a rila hi ku twa ku vava. Se i yini lexi a ku sivela Mandlovu u ndzi teka n'wi tlherisela kwale xibedhlele laha huma kona.
Loko hi suka na xibedhlele siku leri a ni ri nga byeri ku ri twa ku vava va ku va n'wi nyike medication swi ri loko hi nkarhi wo tirha u ta va right sani tibyele leswaku swi ri medication wa ha ri ku tirheni.
But look, when Zanele Mota was discharged from the hospital, in fact, during that, I informed them that she says she is in pain. But I was told that she has been given medication, some medication, and that in good time, the medication will set in will take effect. So at that point in time, I thought that the medication was taking effect.
So that was...
Does she understand the question? Say, the question is, when she complained about the pain, why she didn't take her back to Tembisa Hospital? Is that your question?
Yes, my lord.
Was this an Shibutiso Mandlovu? Shibutiso Iku. Loko yena tava a complaining le ka wena byela ku ku vava. Kwala ka yini va n'wi teka n'wi xibedhlele?
Hikuva siku leri ri nga hundza hi ti 14 a huma ko xibedhlele n'wi nyike ti-10 pain tablets ni ti byela ku na murhi leyi va nga nyikiwa xibedhlele swi ri leswi a ku ya hi vo va nga te va n'wi nyike medication swi ri le ku tirheni i ta va right.
The day before, that is the 14th, she was discharged from the hospital and she had been given medication at the hospital. I also gave her some pain tablets. So I thought that the combination of this medication that she received from the hospital as well as the painkillers that I gave her would take effect and help her.
Ma'am, can you explain to the court how did Zanele Mota sustain rib fractures?
Mandlovu va kota ku hlamusela huvo ku swi tise ku yini ku Zanele Mota a vaviseka a tshoveka timbambu. I don't know.
She was released in your presence. Nobody else visited her. You were the only one with her. How did she sustain those rib fractures?
Se bari a humesiwa xibedhlele Mandlovu u humesiwe xibedhlele wena u ri kona laha u nga n'wi teka u famba na yena kona ku hava munhu loyi a nga ta ta n'wi vona ku hava munhu loyi a nga n'wi vhakela a ko va wena na yena ntsena. Se xivutiso i ku swi tise ku yini ku loko a vaviseka a tshoveka timbambu?
A ni swi tivi ku ku endleke yini hikuva a ni ngo tshama ni n'wi rindzile a ni fane ni huma nkarhi wun'wana ni ya xitolo a ni huma nkarhi wun'wana ni ya kun'wana kumbe i sala ringeta ku ya toilet kumbe i sala ringeta ka ku hlambeni awa a ni swi tivi mara loko ni vuya nga zanga ni byela nchumu.
Maro, I don't know. I don't know what happened. And I was not always guiding her or always there looking after her. Sometimes I would leave the place, I would go out to the shop or go elsewhere. I don't know, my lord, as to what happened during my absence in those times when I was not with her. It's possible, my lord, that she could have attempted go to use the bathroom or toilet on her own, or try to bath and perhaps fell and injured herself, but I don't know what happened. And but when I returned, upon my return, after having left, she would not report to me anything. She would not tell me anything. She never said anything to me.
na leswi swibedhlele va kalaka va nga swi vonangiki swi nga va tumbelelaka ku vaviseka ka yena a ni swi tivi.
And perhaps, my Lord, it's possible that the hospital missed something when they treated her. It could be that there's something that they did not see in her condition. I don't know.
You see, we can speculate. The fact remains, you admitted on Friday, Zanele Mota was released in your supervision. She was at your house up until late the evening of the 15th, midnight, around the midnight hours when you decided now you're taking her to the hospital, Arbeid. Did you not recall that evidence?
Madala Ndlovu yihleketelela ku nga ku humeleleni ku fika leswi u swi hlamuselaka kambe wena u pfumerile wa vutlhanga loko hi le airport ku Zanele Mota loko va n'wi humesa va n'wi nyikete wena kambe na yena a ndlwini ya wena hi laha a ri kona a ndlwini ya wena 16 June 2016 navusiku kumbe exikarhi ka vusiku hi siku leriya u tekile Zanele Mota u n'wi yisa exibedhlele leswi nga pfumela ku swilo leswi nga humelela u n'wi yisa exibedhlele Arbeid hospital.
Mina ni xibedhlele a ni pfumerile vhele.
Yes, my Lord, I did take her to the hospital. I admitted to that, yes.
Ni ri u mina ni xibedhlele hi 14 a ri na mina kusukela a ni xo pfumerile.
My Lord, I admitted that when she was discharged from the hospital, she was discharged into my care on the 14th of June 2016. I'm not denying that. I admitted to that.
So, did you see Zanele Mota fell at the bath?
Se muonile na kumeshana awa ebavini lokaringeta kuhlambala.
A ni n'wi vonangi ni ri kumbe loko ni nga ri kona mara loko ni vuya a nga zanga fika a ni byela nchumu.
No, my Lord, I did not say that. I'm saying perhaps that's what could have happened in my absence. But then when I came back, when I returned, she did not tell me anything.
But then you see there was also a laceration on her liver. How did that happen?
See, una kuvaviseka kun'wanyana loko a nga va na kona exivindzinxayela ku xekeka kumbe ku tsemeka swi humelele njhani sweswo?
A ni swi tivi.
I don't know.
Yet you are the only person who was with Zanele Mota since she was released from Mbisa Hospital up until you took her to Arbeid Hospital where she was declared dead upon arrival.
Ambiswiritano Mandu, ku ri wena a wu swi tivi ambiswiritano ku nkarhi wolowo Zanele Mota hi wena ntsena munhu loyi a ri na yena kusukela nkarhi lowu a nga humesiwa exibedhlele eTembisa Hospital ku fikela loko wena u n'wi teka n'wi tlherisela Arbeid Hospital ku ri a wu swi tivi ku vaviseka loku swi humelele njhani.
Na i ntiyiso a ni swi tivi ku swi endlekise ku yini. Lexi ni nga tiva xo hi loko se navusiku za ti 15 ku xela ti 16 teleto a sungula ku ni n'wi twa khohlola loko ni fika ni n'wi kuma khisame nyangweni se la ni nga swi vonaku ku i serious i twa ku vava se ni n'wi heleta xibedhlele.
Yes, that's correct. I don't know how those injuries happened. Until my Lord, on the night of the 15th, early hours of the 16th, when I had her coffee, I went to check on her, my Lord, and I found her in a kneeling position on the floor. And that's when I realized that she was seriously in pain. That's why I decided to take her to the hospital.
So that moment you found her on the floor, she was coughing. Was she still able to speak to you?
Ni n'wi vutisile ni ku swo yini a ku i twa ku vava mara a vulavulela hansi ni n'wi vona ku i tsandzeka ku hefemula loko a hefemula wa lwa na ku hefemula.
Yes, that's so. In fact, I asked her, what's happening, what's going on? And she told me that she's in pain. But she was speaking to me in a very low voice. I could see, my lord, that she was in pain. And so I decided, my lord, to take her to the hospital.
So she was speaking to you?
I got that what I've done away.
Even ntlhantlha ku i twa ku vava a karhi a vulavulela hansi a hi vulavulangi swa ku tala hi ku a ni n'wi vona i twa ku vava ku nga na nkarhi wa ku ni nga ha vulavula swa ku tala na yena a ni lava ku n'wi tsutsumisela exibedhlele.
My lord, I needed to rush her to hospital. Yes, she spoke to me, and it's no more than that, you know, other than the reply that she gave me that, look, I'm in pain. So I didn't want to say more. That's why I rushed her to the hospital.
So how did you get her to the car?
Ni n'wi yimisile hi ku ye a komile ni ka ye a ni khomile tinyongeni se ni n'wi koka hi huma ni pfula xipfalo ni ya n'wi nghenisa movheni ka siti ya le ndzhaku so ni pfula gate driver hi famba.
My lord, I helped her to stand up, to be on her feet. And my lord, since she was shorter than me, I then asked her to hold on to me on my waist area to be able to find balance. And then I dragged her out to the car. I placed her on the back seat of the motor vehicle, closed the door, then went on to open the gate and drove her to the hospital.
And in the car, did you realize this was a matter of life and death?
A ni nga swi hleketi sweleswo mara a ni hlangahlanganile hi ku a ni vona ku i twa ku vava.
I did not think of that, but I was confused because I could see that she was in pain.
Why did you not think it was a matter of life or death?
Hikwalaho ka yini a wu nga swi hleketi sweleswo ku swi nga endleka ku a hanya kumbe a lova?
A swi tanga mihleketo na mina ku ni nga n'wi hleketela timhaka ta ku lova a ni hleketa ku n'wi tsutsumisela xibedhlele ku a kota ku pfuneka.
It did not occur in my mind. I did not think of that. I was never thinking that she might die. All that was in my mind was to rush her to the hospital so that she can get help.
How far was Arbeit Hospital from your house
See,
at that stage?
Arbeit Hospital, ile kule utani kwi kusuka ndlwini ya wena ku ya fika Arbeit impfhuka utani kwi.
Swa ti-kilometers ni nge swi tivi mara loko u famba hi movha u nga driver vo ma 30 minutes swi ya hi ku u drivhisa ku yini.
Well, I cannot tell you the distance in terms of the kilometers. I don't know. But it could take one about 30 minutes driving, depending on the speed which one is driving. It could take up to 30 minutes.
So that said, midnight hours of the evening of the 15th up until the early morning hours, it took you plus minus 30 minutes to get to Arbeit. Can we take that?
So, in that case, vusiku lebyiya exikarhi ka vusiku ku yela ka matakuxa ya ti 16 ka June 2016. Hi nga swi teka ku kusuka andlwini n'wi yisa xibedhlele Arbeit Hospital swi nga va swi teke nkarhi wo ringana 30 minutes kumbe ehansi kumbe ku tlulanyana 30 minutes.
Nga va ku rutlanyana mara a na ha swi tivi kumbe a ni concentrate endleleni ni hlangahlanganile a ni langutangi nkarhi ku ni drive nkarhi wa ku fika kwini.
Madam, it could have been more than 30 minutes, but I don't know. And the reason for that, Madam, is because I was focusing on the road. I did not check the time as to how much time I spent taking her to the hospital.
And at that stage, you were alone. Nobody was there to help you.
Nakona futhi nkarhi walowo a wo va wexe a ku nga ri na munhu un'wanyana loyi a karhatini.
A ni tshama ni ri one ku n'wana wa mina a tshama na maki loyi a tshama na yena.
I was staying alone. My child was staying with a minor. I was not staying with anyone. I was living alone.
Question.
Ms. Ndlovu, I've tried the best I could afford to impress upon you that if the question is asked, please answer it. Do not divert and put things that you are not being asked. The question is, at that time, you were staying where you were staying with, allegedly with Mota for a month alone. Please answer that.
Nkarhi ngetini mani ku kombeta ku loko u tswa xivutiso xi ngiseni hlamula xivutiso u nga hlamuli u vula leswi ka u nga vutisiwangiki swona. Kongomelo xa xivutiso lexi u lava ku tiva ku nkarhi lowu u nge a wu tshama na Zanele Mota nakona u tshame na yena nkarhi wo ringana n'hweti hi nkarhi walowo a wu tshama u ri wexe na?
A ni tshama ni ri wexe.
Yes, my lord, I was staying alone.
And you were struggling with this Zanele Mota, who was injured. She had pain. She was speaking to you still. Is that what you're telling us?
Se, a ri ku ehlupheteni a wu ri ku kaka na Zanele loyi a twa ku vava a karhi a vulavula na wena hi nkarhi wolowo.
A vulavula loko ni ya ka yena loko pfuka u tshama ni ku nyika swakudya a dya a ni n'wi dyisela kwalaya a tlele kona a tshama mara a pfuka a tshama a ni vulavula na yena.
Yes, I was talking to her. She was talking to me, my lord. Especially at the time when I was giving her food. I could ask her to sit up and give her food. At that time, yes, I was talking to her, and she would do as I would ask her to sit up and eat.
But in the car, Ms. Ndlovu, did she speak in the car?
I'm open, Mandu. I'm open.
A nga vulavuli o jam.
No, my lord, they are not in the car. She was not talking in the car. Instead, she was crying in pain, showing that she is in pain.
And yet you didn't decide at that moment to take her to Tembisa Hospital, which was closer to you than Arbeid Hospital.
Kambe nkarhi walowo a wu swi ehleketangi ku u yisa eTembisa Hospital. Ku na ku Tembisa Hospital a yi ri kusuhani ku tlula Arbeid Hospital.
Ndzi byele ku Tembisa hi la a humaka hi koho mara a nga antswi i ri ni n'wi yisa Arbeid ku i private hospital kumbe va ta n'wi pfuna ku antswa.
But I thought that I should rather take her to Arbeid Hospital. Since it's a private hospital, she'll get better help. And I thought to myself, my daughter, she's been to Tembisa Hospital, but she was not getting any better. So I decided against taking her to Tembisa to instead a private hospital where I thought she'd get better assistance.
And there was even another hospital which was closer to your home. The Zamakukhle Hospital. Do you know where is that?
Kuna xin'wanyana xibedhlele lexi xi ri kusuhani na laha u tshama kona lexiya va nge i Zamokuhle. Wa swi tiva ku xi le kwihi? I do, yes I do.
And that's also a private hospital. Close to your home. Closer than Arbeid.
Target national special. She looks one in a little Tamako, a little below. Nakona, national ship private hospital. She looks one in Dula, we are a
nkarhi lowu zama ku tlhe a ya renovatiwa so a ni nga swi tivi ku ya tirha kumbe a yi tirhi.
At that time, Zamokuhle Hospital was under renovations, so I did not know, I had no knowledge as to whether the hospital was operational or not.
Even Karstenhof is closer to your home than Arbeid Hospital.
But again, that Karstenhof Hospital, it looks so hard, Nala Altamabo, Ukula Arbeid Hospital.
An driver navusiku ene ku famba navusiku ni driver na chava so loko ya Karstenhof u fanele u nghena lokixini vo Ivory Park Rabi Ridge kwini kwala so Arbeid loko ni ya kona ni huma la ni tshama kona ni khoma freeway a ni vona ingaku yi safe and ni ta va hi kota ku fika hi ku hatlisa.
But I was driving at night, and driving at night is something that I'm scared of doing. So the reason why I decided against Karstenhof is because one has to drive through the township, Ivory Park, Rabi Ridge, and like before I could get to Karstenhof Hospital. So that was a bit dangerous for me. So I decided to go to Arbeid Hospital because I could use the freeway, and I thought that I'd be able to reach this hospital much easier and quicker and safely. And just to add on that, Arbeid is a hospital that I am so much used to. I used this hospital quite often, so I was used to going to this hospital. That's why I went to it.
Mrs. Ndlovu, so you were scared to drive around in the township at night. Were you not the police officer issued with a firearm?
When I driver alokishini nabusiku kasi manje awungaripholisa naxibamu na xantiyo nga ri ka ndleko xibamu xa ntirho.
Ka xiyimo lexi Dzanele a ri ka xona a ni nga hleketi na timhaka ta ku teka xibamu ivi loko ni tsundzuka kahle a ni zanga ni teka na xibamu loko ni famba ni n'wi heleketa xibedhlele.
Yeah, you see, in that situation, the circumstances under which I was together with this son, I did not even think of taking the firearm alone. I didn't take it. As I rushed to the hospital, I didn't take the firearm.
Man, you can argue your facts around the circumstances, but clearly from the fact that you did not take Zanele Mota to the closest hospital to get the possible treatment, any possible treatment, shows you were not interested in her getting better.
Unga xivulavula ku va na tinhlamuselo leti u nga na tona mando hi ku phikizana na leswi u byeriwaka swona eka xiyimo xa Zanele, kambe wena a wu tekanga Zanele u yisa eka xibedhlele lexi a xi ri kusuhani, lexi a swi ta koteka ku a kota ku pfuniwa hi ku hatlisa. Sweswo swa tikomba ku wena a wu nga naveli ku Zanele a kuma ku pfuniwa hi nkarhi wa.
Loko a ku ri sweleswo a ni ta va ni lo n'wi tshika kwala ndlwini.
If that's the case, my Lord, I would have left her to die right there in the house. I would not even have tried or attempted to take her to the hospital. So what counsel is saying is not true. That's not true. That's the reason why I took her to the hospital.
From your own words, after Zanele Motas passed away, you received over 100,000 rand. Is that not correct?
Uvumerile mari ya wena Mandu. Andzaka loko se a lovile Zanele Mota. Unemali ya ku tlula 100,000 rand. Yes.
And once again, if we take a look at your exhibit ZZZ, your bail affidavit that you utilized in your bail application, you only paid 60,000 rand for Zanele Mota's funeral cost, plus minus 60,000.
We are here. We bail affidavit. They might be reasonable and the shopping. A magistrate court. Exhibit ZZZ. Naya ukhansela leswaku mali ungayitirhisa kumbe ku hlenga ku va nyiketa ku tirhiwa ku lahliwa Zanele yi ve henhla kumbe ehansi ka 60,000. Yes.
So you made a profit of more than 40,000 rand from the funeral policies at least.
Leswi vulaka ku u vuyeriwile hi mali yo ringana 40,000 u huma ka ti-policy teto ta insurance leyi u nga yi kuma loko Zanele a lova leyi.
Lo a hi ku vuyeriwa a ni ri Zanele loko va ta va va n'wi endle postmortem va ti-accidental death so lexi nga endla tipholisi ti hakela ku ri davula.
No, it's not a profit as such. It cannot be said that it's a profit. When Zanele payments were done, after assessment, it was found that she died of an unnatural death, which was accidental. So, in that case, insurance policy pays double the amount. So one cannot say that it's a profit.
But you had an excess of plus minus more than 40,000 after you covered the cost of funeral and burial fees.
Kambe hambiswiritano ku vile na mali leyi nga henhlanyana kumbe ehansinyana ka 40,000 leyi yi nga salela wena endzhaku ka loko se u hakerile mali hinkwayo leyi a yi laveka ku tirhiwa ku a kota ku lahliwa Zanele.
Yi sele mara hi le hanhlekete ku loko tanihi ku hi mehe ni nga endla nkosi mara ku na family ka ha ta va na swilo swa ku hluvula ka ha ta va na swin'wana swi ri leya ku ta tirha yona.
Yes, there is money that was left after I spent on the funeral expenses. Since Zanele was family, I thought that amount that was remaining would be used for other ceremonies like the unveiling, etc. When the time comes, I thought it would be utilized for that.
You utilized the money, so enlighten us as to what you spent the money on.
See, wena ungayitirhisa mali leyi nga sala manje. Se hi byeli u yi tirhise ku endla yini? U endle yini hi yona?
Ni yi tirhisile swin'wana na swin'wana ni ri na yimele lavakulu ku va ta ni byela ku ku hluvuriwa rini ku pfuriwa rini ribyi.
I used it for various reasons, on various things. I was waiting a directive from the elders to tell me as to what other subsequent ceremonies would be done after the funeral, like the unveiling of the tombstone, things like that. I was waiting for the elders to give a directive on that.
You see what I find difficult, man? Zanele Mota had 3 children, 3 young children. Did you at any stage think of contributing towards them?
Xin'wanyana lexi xi endlaku ku ma tikeriwa ni nga amukeli xiyimo xa Zanele Mota i ku Zanele Mota ri na vana vanharhu 3 wa vana vantsongo i yini leswi nga endlaku na loko u nga koti ku hleketa ku va pfuna vana va Zanele Mota hi mali leyi a yi sala.
Vana va Zanele tanihiloko ni ri ni ku loko a ta tshama na mina a siye vana va Zanele a va sale na bava wa vona ene vuxaka xikarhi ka mina boyfriend ya Zanele a byi nga nandziki ku na loko a ta va vavisekile ni n'wi fonele ni ku Zanele i vavisekile a ku a nga n'wi lavi ka yena. kumbe a ringeta ku a la ku tiva ku tshama kwini a ta ta n'wi vona.
My Lord, Zanele, when she came to live with me, to stay with me, my Lord, she left the children with their father. At that time, the kids were staying with their father. And my relationship with the father of Zanele's children at this stage was not okay. In that, when I phoned him to inform him that Zanele is injured, he told me that he doesn't want to see her. He never even made an attempt to come over to see her as she was indisposed. So at that time, I had no good relations with him and with the father of his 3 children.
Did you at any stage think about the children of the deceased Zanele Mota and put the money in some kind of trust for their studies?
Awuhleketangi na vana va Zanele ku va u kota ku nga va pfuna ku va hlayisela mali eka trust account kumbe ka siku rin'wanyana va kota ku va na mali ya ku nghena xikolo.
A na yimele ku ta va na ku hluvula tanihileswi family a va vule ku loko ku hluvuriwa ku fanele ku vulavuriwa ku endlisiwa ku yini hi vana, so mali a yi lo tshama ka bank account ya mina a ni nga investanga kumbe ka trust account.
My Lord, I was waiting for a directive from the elders to say what should happen after the unveiling. My Lord, the money was lying in my bank account. I did not invest it in any investment account or trust account. So it was just lying there in my bank account. I was waiting for the elders to see what the way forward would be after the unveiling.
But then you started using the money.
A yi ri koho ka account ni vula ku a ni nga investanga a ni nga endlanga trust account.
No, my money, my Lord, the money remained in the account. It was in the account. What I'm saying is that I did not invest it in any kind of investment account or trust account. It remained there in my account.
Okay. Let's think. So at least now we did determine you made, from the death of Mr. Witness Madala Homu, 131,000 rand, 339 rand, and then we have Zanele Mota, you paid over 100,000 rand cash from insurances.
Ile club bonde ngaba kona mafika ngomandu ukotile kutwa ku wena ubuyerwile imali yoringana 151,389 loko kulova witness Madala Homu. Ukukelo ba Zanele Mota ukume mali le ayile hekla ka 100,000.
Shitan.
Yes, that's all.
And I further put it to you, ma'am, if one take the evidence of Dr. Nku, who testified that she thoroughly examined your Zanele Mota, your family member, Zanele Mota, she thoroughly examined her. She even had the x-rays. Those injuries that Zanele Mota passed away from was not sustained on the 14th of June 2016. Those injuries were sustained under your care. And you are not willing to open to this honorable court how she sustained those injuries.
Mando, loko uyingisele kahle umboni zakho khona loyi anga hlamusela kahle leswaku yena anga khambela Zanele ka xibedhlele to sungula hi 14 u endlela ti x-ray ku vaviseka loko a nga va na kona loko a ta lova a nga ri na kona nkarhi luwa loko a n'wi kambela wena loko Zanele a va ya xibedhlele hi 14 ka June 2016 a nga vavisekisanga swona leswi wena leswaku a ri na wena u n'wi yisa xibedhlele a nga a vavisekise swona wena a wu tiyimiselangi ku vula ku boxa ku Zanele ku vavisekise ku yini lowu a ri na wena loko u n'wi yisa xibedhlele.
a ni tivi nchumu lexi ni xi tivaka ni tiva sweswi ni nga n'wi landza xibedhlele a ri na ti-bruises leti na me a ni vona toho ku ndzeni ka ye ku endleka yini a ni swi tivi.
My Lord, I know nothing. I don't know anything, my Lord. All I know about the injuries that Daniel had were those bruises which could see, which were visible to me as to what other injuries she had internally inside her body. I don't know.
A ku na lexi nga endla xona xa ku n'wi twisa ku vava.
And there's nothing, my Lord, there's nothing that I did to Zanele to inflict any injuries and pain.
Let's move to count 7 and 8. Maurice Kingwani Mabasa.
Ai, varabulike mando. Nanzwa wa 7 na wa 8 lokumbabu Maurice Kingwani Mabasa.
Can you tell the Honourable Court how much money did you receive from policy payouts after the death of Mr. Maurice Kingwani Mabasa?
Ngadzela ke ngadzela ugogo. Imali muni leyiphuma police, the insurance police, loko Maurice Kingwani Mabasa.
I was 400,000.
It was more than 400,000 rands. That is, if I'm not mistaken, it was more than 400,000 rands.
The amount that I'm having is 416,357 rand. Do you agree?
Mtengo lona wona la Mando, 416,000 rand, 357. Wapumeka.
Tanihiloko nte a yi ri yi hundza 400 a ni sure ku a ku ri 300 ti nga ke henhla ka 400,000 leswi na ni vulaka swona loko a yi hundza 400,000 so swi ri leyi va yi vulaku prosecutor swi ri hi yoho advocate Williams swi ri yoho a ni calculatangi.
All I'm saying, my Lord, is that I did not make a calculation of the exact amount, but I'm certain, my Lord, that it's in the range of 400,000 and more. So I don't know how much more than 400,000 it is. But then I believe what counsel for the state, what Mrs. Williams is saying, is the correct amount. I just simply did not count it to come to that exact amount.
Except to say that it was more than 400,000 rands.
Exactly. It was over 400,000.
As a please Honourable Court, my Lord. May I then ask you if you can have a look at Exhibit SSS, which was handed up during the trial proceedings?
SSS?
Yes. SSS, my Lord. Snake.
Yes.
Now, Exhibit SSS is extraction from your bank account with the number 4079676763. Do you see that, ma'am?
Where is that?
On the page 1, the actual bank account, my Lord.
SSS 827.
SSS, yes, my Lord.
Oh, yes.
Actual bank account.
Okay.
And the bank account.
After the affidavit.
After the affidavit, my
Yes.
Lord. The bank account, the pages is numbered from the right-hand side.
Yes, absolutely.
And just the on top account number 4079676763. Do you see that, ma'am?
Kapunike exhibit SSS Kuala Mango. Bank statement there were they account here 4079676763. Why don't
Well, the interrogation process is still in progress at the Johannesburg High Court sitting in the Palm Reach Magistrates Court, wherein the case of murder accused Nomia Ndlovu is still in progress. She's being interrogated by the Crown. All right, your breaking news this hour. The